So, to be honest, this video might not be too interesting to some people, and it'll almost definitely be fairly short, I would say, but it's another one, I guess one of those truths that many of us probably learned somewhat early on, when you kind of realize like everything we've been told is a lie to some degree. It just kind of comes, hand in hand with what I'm going to talk about here. So it's like, fairly obvious, I'd say, for most of us, but the fact that it shows up in the game is pretty interesting in this way. So I figured might as well show it. So yeah, here's the clip for your own interpretation. So just a bit of quick context in the game is, for whatever reason, I guess just to sort of emulate the layout of, say, somewhere like New York City with all of its various like artistic attractions and museums and history things and stuff like that. In the town, in the city 4 side, there is a dinosaur exhibit or dinosaur museum, and when you go in there, it doesn't really it's not as positive, I guess you could say, about the idea of dinosaurs initially. Like, even though there's only a few NPCs in here to talk to and dialogue boxes to see, it's interesting how many of them they pretty much just give away that in some way the dinosaurs aren't real in the exhibit and such. At least for me, this is one of my earlier things I started learning in this kind of truth community, I guess you could say, was, that the fact that, one, all we've been lied to, obviously, and on top of that, everything we've been lied to, including all the history, that just comes hand in hand. After a while, it becomes obvious. And with history in general, just the history that we've been taught since we're children about, millions of years ago there was dinosaurs and stuff like that, and Jurassic Park and all that stuff that gets pushed. And then you realize about this, and it seems so obvious when you realize that everything is such a lie and everything, but you don't really think about it, and you're like, whoa. When I started, really the only person who brought this up at the time when I was first getting into this kind of thing was this other creator, John LeBon, and he brought up about the history hoax, and he started talking about how dinosaurs being as fake as they are and all that stuff. And it was, for me at the time, I was like, wow, I kind of understood it right away, but I was like, wow, I never even, like, considered that for some reason. Like, oh, yeah, we were completely lied to about that as well. And it just came off so strange to me. I was like, wow, that is interesting that I just kind of went by my perception completely for some reason until somebody else brought it up. I was like, wow. But then in this game, you'd think it would kind of be pushing the mainstream sort of idea that, you know, dinosaurs are totally real. The whole evolution story, all that stuff is completely real and all that. But then actually the first dialogue that you see when you walk into this dinosaur exhibit, this museum in this game, the receptionist says, the dinosaur museum doesn't have any real dinosaurs. They're all replicas. And it's like, well, they're showing off these bones. Like, if you're gonna have, to me, if you're gonna have replicas, you know, you think they would kind of reconstruct the dinosaur with all the skin and everything, but they're just showing off bones. And to me, that would suggest, like, oh, they must have found these bones somewhere, right? So they must be real. They must have came from something. But it's like, no, they're all just replicas. And then she even says right after, I'm sure everyone knows that. As if, like, that lie is less of a lie because, oh, we thought everybody knew that these things were fake, so we just assumed, oh, okay, it's fine. It's not anything wrong with telling people lies. Is that we were assumed that they knew already. And I was like, whoa. Literally the first dialogue in this saying, these are fake. We thought everyone knew about it, so yeah. And then you gotta pay to see them. To find academic researchers inside. And then you'll actually, like, you won't be able to see the entire dinosaur replica here, but you'll see, like, a good portion of it, I guess. It's just interesting. Like, yeah, it's so big and all that, but then, you know, just a few moments ago, the lady was literally saying it's fake. It's replicas. Dinosaur bones believed to be from one of the southern countries that you go to in the game, Scarabia, and you know the fact that the information sign says that they were found there as if these are the real bones, and the receptionist says they are replicas. It's like, oh, okay, I don't know. That's just like, what? You know, right in your face. And then it says, even after that, don't ask for any details. Our research is continuing. So, just like anything that we've been lied about with science or all these other things, like all these other things that you could possibly just like be inquisitive about to these experts, quote unquote, or all these things that we would even question on a surface level, then you find out that anytime you dig even like skin deeper than like the normal person would, just being like accepting it right away, you find out that it's like they have no idea, or they'll give you a BS explanation and just like kind of throw words at you thinking that they could just like, oh yeah, we just dodge the question kind of thing. Which happens constantly, I've found. But yeah, and here, don't ask any details. Our research is continuing. So, yeah, we have no idea if any of this is actually, like, real or not. And even the people in this place realize that it's just a replica. Or at least the people that work there realize it's a replica. But, yeah, don't ask for any details. It's not important. Yeah. Okay. And research is always continuing. That's just how it always goes with anything, technology as well. Like, oh, why don't we have this? Why don't we have that? Oh, you know, we're getting there. It's going to take it's going to take longer, but we're getting there. Don't worry. Research is continuing. And this old person, I wonder how many animals go extinct before human beings discover them. And I'm having trouble trying to gather what I wanted to say about this, but it's like, it makes me think like, how many animals go extinct before human beings discover them, as if, like, kind of, almost saying, like, Huh. I wonder what unknown animals suddenly appear to our perception or suddenly are created by humans, or like, actually, in this case, imaginary animals or whatever, imaginary creatures are created before human beings just decide, okay, now we're going to say that, oh yeah, we found these 8 million years ago or whatever, and they're real, by the way. They just went extinct before we found them. Okay, yeah. And then this guy, this researcher, it's pretty obvious when you talk to him that he's kind of meant to be like kind of weird, awkward or whatever. And you actually find out later that he's got a weird attraction, or he's got a really obsessive kind of fan complex for this performer in the town called Venus, which I find that funny. Also, how much planetary names or whatever, I mean, you could say also Greek god names or whatever, same thing. The planetary names are in this game, such as the Mr. Saturns, which I'll talk about in another video. I think that's very interesting. But this performer, her name is Venus, and this guy has a weird obsessive fan attraction to her or whatever. So just showing you he's kind of a creepy weirdo in his own right. But even this guy, he's the supposed expert on these dinosaur bones, or these dinosaur replica things, and huge, aren't they? Well, that's all I've gotten out of my research. Gee, it shows that you know a lot, sir. You know quite a lot, don't you, about your field, your expertise. As I've said, other people that are quote-unquote experts, I see the same kind of deal that I'm seeing in this fiction, or whatever, this virtual character being represented here. Well, to tell you the truth, I heard the dinosaurs were found near lower side of Scaraba. Okay, wow. You just told me what the sign said. Thank you. There are unconfirmed reports that dinosaurs ate some of the natives there. Okay, cool. He can't go down there to find pictures, even though he's the leading expert on this, apparently, in this town. Don't like being alone. Yeah, weird guy, but it's interesting too that I even say this, because the people in this museum literally say, and anything suggests that, yeah, the bones are fake, they're replicas, they have really no evidence or proof at all that these dinosaurs actually existed, this fabrication that they have. But funny enough, later on in the game, you get to a place where there is actual dinosaurs, and you have to, they're enemies there's like maybe 2 or 3 dinosaur type enemies that you fight, but that's not really to my point, I guess. Is just in the game, like, they actually exist and they're living currently, but just the fact that the museum that is here just straight up says, like, oh yeah, by the way, this is all fake. We think it's alright that it's fake, but we don't tell people because we assume that they think that they realize that already. So it's like, oh, whatever. And, just in that regard, the entire history crap that we've been fed our whole lives about, like, everything, but even more so about the more absurd stuff, like, oh yeah, 8 million years ago there was these giant lizards around that they were so huge they would, like, dwarf some buildings and stuff, and all this crap, and we just ate it up. We just ate it up like we were fed by it in a spoon. And this guy, this academic research expert idiot, his name is Mr. Spoon. So that's kind of funny, is this research just feeding that info, feeding that truth to you, feeding you like a spoon right in your mouth. It's like, oh yeah, here it is. Here's the truth. Here's the truth about dinosaurs. We know all about it. You don't know anything. Just believe us. Trust us. Just wanted to get that part of the progress of this story out of the way, I guess. But just an interesting little thing there. I had a lot more to say about it than I expected, actually. But maybe somebody else finds this interesting to ponder, I guess. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. That'll hopefully be a little bit more substantial in what it's talking about, I guess. We'll see. Who cares? It's fun. Bye.